are back again. This is BigLoudMouth. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back again after a very, very long sabbatical.
Holiday season, innit?
According to us, this is season 3. There's Maggie there. There's Ajinomoto. But we are back. We're happy to be back. We miss you guys. We hope you miss us. To all our 50 viewers, we miss you.
I hope you missed us all.
I hope you miss us too.
You know, it is what it is, isn't it?
This is episode 29.
Woo!
And we are back to the glory of God.
Amen, amen.
And today, we are going to be speaking about...
Glory.
Okay, since you want to take it to church.
Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Back up. Power and might be unto our God. Shaku. Forever and ever. Skibo. Amen.
All right.
Today we are talking about forgiveness.
Yes.
To forgive is divine. So
I like
says
that.
the Bible.
I like that.
Yes.
Which Bible does that one?
I don't know.
I've never heard that
So says a quote. To forgive
is divine.
Is divine.
That's our title right there. To forgive is divine.
And before we actually press record,
Yeah.
it was actually randomly that it popped into my head. I was talking about Ant-Man and the Wasupe. The wasp.
The wasp OP. What did they call wasp for, Naja? What did they call wasp for?
You know that insect with it? No, actually in Nigeria, every wasp na bee. Every wasp is a bee.
Oh my God.
And they say, I don't na bee. You don't know. It's when I came here that I knew there was wasp and there's a bee. To me, they are all in the same category. But today we're talking about Lawrence Fishburne, and you know, this is not short to anybody who's overweight or on the bigger side or
big bones.
You know, big.
As they like to call it.
Really big bone and big muscle.
Their bones are big.
But anybody that's comfortable, I was just, comparing Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix to Ant-Man.
Oh my God.
You know, like the guy swallow Matrix and Ant-Man together.
Oh my God.
But you know what?
Nah,
it's all in the area of forgiveness, isn't it? But, I had to explain to my girlfriend, like, this guy's going through a lot, That's why, I'm sure alcohol has played a part, or maybe eating disorder. When people are stressed, some people, I mean, you can't go from, what's his name in...
Morpheus,
all action, to be looking like
it's a different character
Seth
that
Rogen.
they play, though.
Huh?
It's a different character.
No, but I'm just saying, in terms of like,
what if that
body
was required?
form. Okay, how about Boys in the Hood? Look, it was...
Yeah, but that was
But
like
he was
fresh.
younger. I know, but I mean, you can't just fast forward and...
Okay. But your point was that because of the situation that...
Yeah, because of the stress. But, I mean, it's all leading to forgiveness
I'll ask you a
anyway.
question there on that note.
Now...
I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
God forbid, and I say God forbid, right? Infidelities that, you find out that your missus...
No, Mrs. is different. Wife.
Okay. Woo! My G.
Wife.
Yeah? That your wife has been playing around the field with another dude.
Yeah.
How would you take it?
Everybody's dying.
Wow. Well, there goes the
disclaimer, but
there
everybody's
goes the
dying.
divinity in his forgiveness. Because you started off forgiveness is divine.
No, in some occasions.
And then there you go, everybody must die.
No. It's not everybody must die. Sometimes you have to learn to move on. Because, if I kill everybody, it's a joke. If you kill everybody now...
Yeah, bro, that came from your heart.
No.
I felt that from the diaphragm
My guy,
and the bass included. That came straight from your heart.
Because if I kill everybody now, and I spend my time in jail, and some guy is just telling me to hold his pocket...
Now your pocket... That's not what you'll be holding in jail.
Pause.
That's not what you be holding, guy.
Pause.
You think you create when you do murder? That's what you will hold in jail.
But, like, we don't here, but, we're talking in terms of forgiveness. Listen, yeah? Let's not start this new season with full force.
Just imagine Tola. Come here.
Guy, I'm short as well.
I know.
I probably don't have to kneel down. Pause.
Oh my God. I can just
No
imagine
homo.
him. Oh my days. Nah, that is mad.
But why did we start like this? I'm even getting hot. Let me unclip this. I'm getting hot.
Wow.
But, we're talking in line of forgiveness here. Yeah? So, she was like, why is this guy fine? I said, number one, if your daughter is doing porn and Brian Pomper is doing job, and your wife decides to cheat on you, and you have to file for divorce, I don't care who you are, you put on weight.
Yeah,
it's two things. Either you go really skinny or you go really fat. You can't be in the middle. It's simple. And if you're in the middle, you look like Whitney Houston during her end period. I'm just saying, it's reality though.
Wow.
But, you know, it's true. It's true. Everybody can catch it. Wow. Everybody's getting the shots. Pa, 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 pa. But
so that came with a vengeance. Talk about divinity and all that out the window.
When they said to forgive is divine, I'm sure they were talking about specific people.
Wow. So
people.
You don't think you fall into that category?
No. I do fall into that character. In terms of forgiveness anyway. What is forgiveness?
I always say for me, it's very simple. Forgiveness is to do with forgetting. And I say that with the most openness I can possibly be.
Me, I'm going on Google now.
People, I feel like people, so there are two types of people, yeah? There are people that say that, they forgive, but they can't forget, right?
Yeah.
And there's some cases, most rare cases, people like me, that I believe that they're both the same thing. I feel you can't truly forgive without forgetting. And then someone will go, okay, but that means that are you not going to learn from your mistake? Are you going to be boo-boo the fool? I feel like, yeah, that's the whole point of forgiveness. It's to be boo-boo the fool. It's to be that person. Because if we're talking about forgiveness as divinity, and I love that so much, forgiveness is divine. That's my point right there. If we're talking about divinity,
forgive is divine,
right? We're talking about a higher plateau. We're talking about a higher
spirituality.
I think it's beyond that. I think it's beyond the mere essence of spirituality.
No, I'm not in a religious context, but like as a man, your soul must be on a different spirit level where people like in church today. Sorry to cut you. They were giving testimony about one of our church members' husband, how he doesn't even flinch when you like anger him or anything. People like that. It can be two things, but for him, it's like, even his friends were testifying, like, yo, there's nothing you can do that would actually make this guy mad. Like, he just lets everything run. Not because he's a walkover, but he just has that gift of, like, forgiving.
And I think that's my issue, is that people tend to, the word being walked over, I think people tend to say that, they want to forgive, but they don't want to be taken for a mug, or they don't want someone to walk over them and use and abuse them. And I always feel like, then you can't really forgive someone then. I feel like forgiveness and forgetting are the same thing, right? And there's a process. And the beautiful thing about forgiveness is always about yourself. Has nothing to do with anybody else. It has nothing to do with the offender. It actually has everything to do with the offended.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, that's probably one thing I try to work on every single day. If there's a daily goal that I have, is to never hold any grudges, to never be able to walk away from something. I know that, do you know what, it doesn't matter if it affects me or not, right? I'm able to, so, do you know what, to wipe the slate clean. So when we talk about, let's go into examples. We'll talk about infidelities, right? And for men, that's probably one of the hardest things most men...
To forgive as a man.
Yeah, find it difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I wanted to find out, why is that?
Do you know what? Even in my current state and my younger days, right? Because of the, very macho world we live in, which is changing for the good. I think a lot of people are looking at things from like a different lens now.
I think it's never just that as well. Did you read that stats about women, for the first time in history, women are now occupying the same amount of work for space as men?
I've always thought like women are always like in managerial positions anyway. Maybe because in my line of duty anyway, my line of profession. But I've always had like female managers. Yeah. So, cool. That's why maybe you could. So sidetracking. When we were a lot younger, like even, I can say even up until maybe like 2 years ago or 3 years ago, like we live in this world where we've been programmed in a way like, women find it easier to forgive while men find it harder to forgive. So when it comes to infidelity...
I don't... Okay, in the case of infidelity...
Cool. A woman gets... The stories you hear is that of a woman getting cheated on all the time. Multiple it took me a while before I even realized that, men do get cheated on as well. Like, what? In what world? But, open your eyes, bro, and it happens every day. But the thing is, women find it, I don't know, for some reason, this is why we were talking about being on a different spiritual level, not religiously, just in general, like being on a different level. And I think it takes, that's why they always say women are a lot more mature than men, right? Some women find it easy, not all women, I don't want to generalize, but most women, most story I've heard about a woman being cheated on and her taking the man back is the woman having the ability to move on and see, you know, the man for what the man actually is.
And you know what? In most cases, and I say most cases, most women will forgive infidelity on the first account.
Yeah. No, on the first count. Second one, they'll be like, nah.
The second one...
You're out.
The second one, it depends how bad it is and depends...
I don't want to go that far.
Okay. I know, but... Some women, I don't want to categorize all women because I know some women that went for tolerate anything, right? The first count, it's like, all right, cool, you did wrong. Like, as long as they see that process of
reparation,
and wanting to be accepted and
improve,
and they'll be like, all right, you know, let's have another go. Whereas, as a dude, it's
to answer your question, I think the reason why men find it hard to forgive infidelity is because we're selfish human beings.
It will. Hey.
Yeah. No. Our level of selfishness as a man is high. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. A woman will probably date you if she knows an acquaintance that's dated you before. Here you go. After you say you're not looking for a wife.
I'm not looking.
But we guys find it so hard to date a woman that we know an acquaintance is dated before. Not even a friend, an acquaintance. Now, and this line of acquaintance can be 4 lines down.
We ain't finna do that.
Exactly what I mean. So now, if you not take that, we already find it hard to date someone we know. This guy knows that guy that knows that guy that knows that guy, and he's dated
off
her.
The books, man.
You know, and then every time we're looking for someone, it's like from a different postcode entirely. Not even from a different county.
Yeah,
that's how far men are willing to date, just so like they hear nothing. So I think the reason why we don't forgive is because we're just selfish human beings. Okay. We're extremely selfish, and this is not trying to jump on a bandwagon of women. It's just like I said, growing up, you hear of like, oh, you know, it's easier for women to forgive. If you offend a woman, she'll forgive you. But as a guy, it's very hard though. You know, it means I'm not enough as a man. Okay. No, but it's just that egotistic thing.
Personal question.
Yeah.
What do you think is the one thing you struggle with in terms of forgiving, or a situation that you feel like it will be so difficult for you to forgive?
I think, to be honest, it will be nothing material. So I think it would almost be that. But even putting that in place, it's
okay, Paul.
Yeah.
Your sister, right? God forbid.
Yeah.
This situation.
Yeah.
Right? Your sister is being domestically abused on a day-to-day basis.
No. Okay.
To an extent that she's put into hospital. I want to go from the
According to the law,
Uh-huh.
I'm not allowed to do anything.
Okay. No, I'm talking about forgiveness.
No. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so you wouldn't forgive that.
There's not even forgiveness.
Okay.
It does not enter.
Okay.
See, I always say one thing, yeah. Domestic violence is a different topic. It's not even a topic I feel privileged.
Even though we're going to be talking about that next week, guys.
Listen,
make sure you tune in.
It's not even something that I want to discuss. Not because I want to run away from it. It just irks me. Like, putting hands on a woman just irks me. I'd rather break glass.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
I'd rather break glass than, hit a woman. So when I hear guys laying their hands on a woman and you're beating a woman black and blue, no matter what she's done, no matter how much you can't forgive her, let's just leave that to next week. Okay. Domestic violence is something like, even if I don't know the person before, if I don't know the woman before, and I know she's a victim, I can smash the guy's face.
Right, okay.
But in terms of forgiveness, that's one thing I can't forgive.
All right.
If I have a friend who physically puts hands on his girl, he won't even take the grace of God. God will understand. If that's the only thing that, honestly,
wow.
no, honestly, like, there's a certain person who tried to say one of my boys did that, and I picked up the phone straight, just so I know. And this is where I was like, yo, that can't be done. Because I already told the guy, I said, if that's the case, I'm going to make the person apologize to you. That's who I am. And then I thought, then the person was like, no. I was like, although I know this person is not capable of doing such, I'm still going to ask.
Yeah.
You know, because that as a friend, I can't even forgive you for that. And then the worst thing is now to find out the person was lying makes me even hate you more. And that I can't forgive someone who's willing to go that far to put someone, you know, in that much trouble. Let me not say forever. I can't forgive the person forever. Time will let things pass. But like you said, if it was my sister, cousin, and she got her hands put on her, if that's the only thing that'll stop me from going through the pearly gates, I think I'm willing to.
I won't let you speak that into your life.
I'm not going to speak that into my life, but God would have to make an exception.
I don't know about that, bro.
I'm just saying.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying. No,
I don't know about that.
No, I'm not.
We're gonna save that for another day. We'll save that conversation. We'll have that conversation privately.
Forgiveness is a very. As much as we say, you know, the thing I always say is like, you know, when I offend my girlfriend, I always tell her like, you know, it's not for me to tell you when to forgive me if I've pissed you off, you know. You know, there's some people who be like, but you should be over it already now.
Yeah.
I said sorry now. Listen, you have to let people.
You have to let
them brew.
You're absolutely correct.
You know,
you're absolutely correct in terms of forgiveness does have a time scale.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know, depending on your level of understanding, depending on your level of dealing with stuff, you know, it definitely needs to take its due process, right? But one thing I always struggle with, I think more so with women and in a relationship, is once you've had that conversation and bygones has been made bygones and anything is rest assured, and then an argument comes again.
And then you pop it up. I've been guilty of that once in a while. I've done that a few times.
Bro, that to me is
I've done it once or twice.
It's a killer. That irks. Because in my head, because for me, because I forgive and forget. So there'll be certain things that people say. I've had people repeatedly offended me for so long. Yeah. Like for me, it doesn't matter because I'm like,
I've done it before.
That's my time. But when people bring things up that I've done.
Do you know the thing is?
Yo.
Do you know the thing is? Yeah. Sometimes when people do that, I've had it done to me. When people do that, they actually don't do it just to hurt you. Like they don't do it to be, you know,
malicious.
To be malicious. Yeah. They just want to touch. Yeah. They just want to touch something.
I get it. You know, for me, it's just like, because I know I would never do that to anyone.
Yeah.
Right. But when people do it, I'm just like, why are we having? I thought you was moved on for this. I thought we've grown.
They thought it was over.
For me, it's like, because it puts a smile in the world. Because that's stuff like that confuses the hell out of me. Right? Because I have like in a way, some sort of naivety, plans or thoughts towards forgiveness. Like for instance, you know, we talk about tell your personal story. You know, family. You know, I started a business with a very close family. Yeah. And then, you know, business has been doing well. The money I invested into it, I've never received a penny. Not one single penny.
Sheesh.
And during the time of making that choice to start a business, you know, I literally gave him all my savings. The money I had left, I gave him all my savings. I was like, yo, this is it. Like, let's make it happen. 2 weeks into that, been calling his phone's not going through.
Let me ask you one question. Is the person based here?
Nah, I don't. Nah, I can't answer that question because I know family watch and I don't want to.
Okay.
That's a conversation I don't want anyone to know. All right, who
oh my
person
way.
is? Anyway, so I gave him like, you know, just to start a business because, you know, we've been having a great, it's very, like, when I mean family, it's like really a strong family member. So it's somebody that, you know, I would trust at anything. So we started a business venture together. I'm seeing and I'm hearing word that business is popping. Seeing him bought a new car. Like this is like 4 months into it. So I'm like, okay, cool. I messaged him. I was like, yo, so when am I getting my first share, right? Of anything. I didn't really care what it was. He's like, yeah, cool. This, that, and the third. That, boom, you're gonna get it. All right, cool. So when I gave him the money, it was an instant transition. Do you know what I mean? So when it was getting time for me to now get some sort of money back, right? It was stories. There was a lot of stories behind it. And then it just got to a point that I was so upset. My spirit was so vexed. Like I got played like 6 months into it. I had no savings, right? I had zero savings for a course of probably eight months, trying to get back on my feet. Everything was just not working financially. I just felt suffocated because like I had put a lot a lot of plans, and we had spoken for about a good three months prior, right? Just setting things up, getting things into motion, this, that, and the third, and then like my heart just felt, and I couldn't believe that I'd been played like that from a family member, and then I got to speaking to a friend of mine that time, to a girl I was seeing at that time, and she was just like, just let it go. I'm like, this is the first time someone's actually told me to let it go. Normally, I let things go so quickly. So I was like, this is hella difficult. How do I do it? And eventually, I just spoke to myself. I was like, during one of my, day-to-day talking to myself, I'm like, why you've got so much animosity within you? So I let it go. I was like, forget it. It doesn't matter. And then a couple of months later, he called me. And he asked me for more money. Right?
That's where you got thunder.
He asked me for more money. And the part of me was so vexed that he asked me for more money. But then I was like, do you know what? I don't know what this guy is going through. I don't know what the situation is. We had conversation about business. And I said to myself, okay, cool. What is forgiveness? And I had to reteach myself.
Forgiveness is not giving someone another money.
Okay. I had to
Please tell me you didn't do it.
Okay, chill.
We can end it with this podcast. Right.
Okay, let me give you some game, all right? And we talked about it, and I was like, do you know what? What's the purpose of forgiveness? And then I realized, and I kept reading, and you mentioned about divinity. And I was like, there's a higher plateau to forgiveness, which is being able to wipe the plate clean, starting afresh without holding any
grudge.
Not just grudge, any preconceived ideas about that person. So I was like, do you know what? Cool. I'm gonna send him the money. And I send him the money without zero expectation.
Yeah, but to the person, you're like a maga now.
I understand that. And I said to myself, and I started reading up on forgiveness, and I started reading up about a bunch of other stuff, right? And one of the main things that I always thought about was, taking it back to a level of religion. And it talks about how many times do God forgive us every day? And when we ask God for forgiveness, what are we really asking God to do? And it's like we're asking God to forget that never even happened in the first place, right? So I took that upon myself. I was like, you know what? Let me try and teach myself.
How did it play out?
It is what it is.
Did you get your money back?
I ain't got no money. I've never received it.
And the guy's still flossing, right?
Yeah. It is what it is. I wish him good. I wish him love.
And I think that's the...
I wish him so much success. Because you know what? Do you know why I wish him so much success? Because I don't know what he's going through. Right?
It doesn't matter.
Wait, chill. I don't know what he's going through, right? He can be going through so much, and that money that I may have given him, I may have changed his life.
No. Whatever he's going through, that's what you get from cheating someone, and they've forgiven you. That's the karma that comes with it.
I don't, listen, all of that karma nonsense is nonsense, right? For me, in a way, I'm happy that I can be in a position where I have some level of resources to change someone's life.
Yeah.
Right? For me, that's how I had to teach myself to be forgiven, to be forgetting, was to say to myself, do you know what? Forget about the money, then whatever you put into it and resources you put into it, right? If I look at it on the larger scale is that, yes, he treated me in falsehood. He treated me with no dignity. He treated me in lies. In deceit and whatever. However, right, I treated him in good faith.
Yeah,
I treated him.
In a way, you're not helping him. You know what? Do you know why I'm saying you're not helping him?
That's why.
Can I say why?
Do you know? We're talking about forgiveness. I don't want to push any other thing into it.
No. It's not even about karma. You know the reason why I always say it's good to forgive. And when you forgive people, so like when I was at work, the last place I left, I had this German person call me the N-word, and I went to them. I was like, why would you even say that? And then the person said what, and said it again. And I'm like, I was so angry. Told him off. She didn't care. Next day came in. I was still so bored. Like, I was okay going home. I was going home. I was so angry. Slept. Woke up the next morning. I'd already forgot. But immediately I saw her face. I was like, you're actually just such a sense of my human being. Like, so I was like, do you know what? She don't care what she said. She don't care how I feel. But I'm carrying this grudge. I'm having these veins pop up in my head. I'm restless. I can't do my job. Because I'm angry. I can't forgive this person. But guess what? It's affecting my work. It's affecting my own daily life, how I live. So from the moment I made the choice to forgive that person, even though when they came back with like some dumb racist apology, like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. You know I'm not racist. That's for me to decide. But do you know what? Because I want to be okay with myself. I forgive you. I don't want to come in and see your face and you ruin my day. Like, I want to be able to forget because you're not going to be the first person who's going to call me that, and you're not going to be the last person who's going to call me that. So I want to forgive you, just like you said earlier, for me.
Yeah.
And guess what? The reason why I said sometimes forgiveness can be tricky. I'm not
denying that.
Let's not even put like the word karma in it. Sometimes when you forgive people, this is what happens. When you treat people in a very pure way, when someone's offended you and you have the ability to let go and forgive the person and even have a conversation with them and not even act, and to you it never happened. It starts to play in their life. That's why I said, like, I don't think you helped him, because you giving him that money again, there's a lot of things that would go in terms of negativity for him with that money, because there is no way as a human being, like, whether we like it or not, religion or not religion, we all deal with some form of God is great, where there's something that, you know how he says you can't get away with everything. You know, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
So sometimes when you forgive someone, you're doing good, but you're almost like, it's going to kill that person.
That's
you know when
not
they say
true.
kill them with kindness kind of way.
That's different. That's a different thing. Killing someone's kindness is how you treat their behavior. What I'm saying is forgiveness is all about, like you said, I'm just talking about just purely forgiveness. Whatever repercussion comes with that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with themselves. It has nothing to do with how, or for instance, that in that same situation, I gave him the money and then he may have used that money to go and do or offended somebody else. Or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The same way that you were angry, vein popping at this woman.
I was.
But in her world, she was living life.
And I'm there stressing.
Exactly. It has not. Like, I'm like, she's sipping.
I had to talk to myself.
Dom Perignon, and you're vexing.
I had to talk to myself. I'm like, and it's not the first time that, like you said with family too. I've been in that situation where you just have to talk to yourself like, hey, you know what? I know I was joking earlier about people who die, I'm going to kill someone. But listen, the best way to live your life is to hold no grudges.
Bruh.
I'm telling you.
Bruh.
Listen, when I as a kid, I used to be an angry kid. I couldn't let things go. Like, even till today.
That's why you lost your hairline.
No. People, no. Like, I deal with testify. Like, when Tola's not happy with you, he'll say it there and that's it. That's my form of forgiveness. If you've angered me, I'm going to tell you right there and there. If I know you're worth it, by the way. If I know you're not worth it, I'll just leave you to be you. Or when I was younger, I'll just carry everywhere whenever I see you. I just want to... But now it's like, if you're worth the time, I'll let you know how I feel. It might not come out nicely, but I can tell you from the time I tell you exactly how I'm feeling, that's it.
Yeah. No, but that's true.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Like, obviously, like I said, I don't want people to feel... I know a lot of people will say it a bunch of... that's a naive way of seeing things. But what you just said is also spot on. Like, for some people, I'm not talking about myself because I'm a different kind of human being. Yeah. Right? For some people, the ability to address that situation is part of the process of forgiving. Right? Yeah. And that's fair. And that's fair enough. For some of you...
That is my process.
Yeah. For some of you, you might need to hash that thing out. For me, I don't need to hash anything out. Right? You might need to hash that thing out. You might need to go, do you know what? You've offended me. Right? This is what you said. This is what you've done. However, this is... I'm let that go and forget. But I want you to understand that, you've offended me in some
for me, I don't even talk about the process of letting go. Yeah. I just tell you, bang, bang, this is what I'm feeling. I don't like it. That's it.
But
boom, it's gone.
I'm saying that in your sense of your thought plan is that, you address stuff because you don't want someone to then repeat that offend, right?
Yeah. It took people around me who, when I say people around me, people close to me, like a while to understand, like, when you actually offend Tola and he's raging right there, he's talking about it right there, he's actually not saying it because he wants to carry it over to the next day. He's just saying it because, listen, I know not everybody wants to deal with things my way or their way, but I've got to deal with it the way I know I want to be able to see you. If I don't hate you, I want to be able to see you the next day and still spot you and say what's up and talk to you. That's who I am. Like, that's why even like with women in the past, when I've been hurt by women, I don't even hold grudges, you know. I say what I need to say on the phone. It might be horrible. You might not like the text, but honestly, believe me, when I see you, that's why I always have this.
You're a horrible guy,
No.
man.
Like, I used to have this false facade. Like, I was cool with like every girl I ever dealt with. I thought I was cool with them.
Casanova.
Until I realized that people are not the same as me. The same way I forgive is not the same way people forgive you.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that's key to understand. Like, forgiveness is different for everybody. Like we said, there's time scale to everything. Some people can forgive you in an instant. Some, depending on what's been done, right? So, again...
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Well, I'm just saying, depending on this, on how, you know, some people, it might be like pinching them is the biggest offense,
okay.
you know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, all right. I thought you meant. What I thought you meant was that, you don't, depending on the offense, then you should forgive.
Oh, no. I'm saying, like, it just depends on the threshold of the person you've offended.
Okay.
So if some people, like, slapping them is the worst thing you can ever do.
Yeah.
You can cuss their mom, cuss their dad, but slapping them, they'll be like, oh, no. You know, and then it will take them time to heal. So when you do offend people, as much as we're talking about forgiveness, when you do offend people, it is only right for you to let them forgive you in their time. All you could do is help
that process.
Some people tell you, just leave me alone so I can process this. Some people, it's just by, you know, little tiny conversations, making sure you're keeping yourself around but not noticeable, and they can forgive. Some people they just want you to change and, you know, act in a way where you feel remorseful, and they'll be like, okay, this is when I can, you know, forgive this person. So forgiveness, I think, to be honest, we're talking about, and for me, I think personally, for me to talk about anything about forgiveness, right, it has to do with a lot of things, like, how do you say it? Our cameraman has messed up with this thing. I'm already waffling now because that camera has messed me up. Like, I forgot what I was going to say.
Okay,
But
cool.
forgiveness is a very big thing.
Yeah.
And we have to look at it from a religious point of view as well. It takes the grace of God sometimes to let some things go. No matter how much you try to be human.
It's true.
If you don't, it takes the grace of God.
Very
Like,
true.
we've all been offended some way, somehow. And you're like...
And we've all offended.
And we've all offended someone. And then it would just take the grace.
Yeah.
You know when people say, if not for Jesus, that thing is real.
I never would have made it.
Never would have made it. Never would have made it without you. I would have killed them all.
But now I'm free.
You were there for me. And I can't say,
never would have made it.
no.
Oh, yeah.
Never would have made it.
On that note, guys.
Without you.
I would just like to leave this comment and say, do you know what? Tyler started off well with a great, topic of
Punchline.
Boom. Yeah, that's what I was
Punchline
looking
king.
for. Forgiveness is divine. And it's all about your divinity, right? There's nothing more precious than your divinity.
Yes.
Right, so
if you believe in God, get closer to God. We all need help.
We all need help in some way,
you know,
some way or another.
Some way, some form.
And, that's one of the beautiful things about what we do. And I feel like it tests your character. And that's, what's the point of
I never asked you, what's the one thing you can never forgive someone?
I can forgive anybody anything. I'm at that stage in my life where, like, one thing I've learned in this few years I've been alive is just the ability to absorb other people's information and then put that into. I know, I'm praying and I'm hoping I don't face such difficult situation,
tribulation.
Yes, but I'm saying to myself, do you know what? If it does come to that, I know that I have the character, right? I have the personality and ability to do.
It's all
whatever.
about grace.
Yeah,
that's where I want to put it. To be honest, it's all about grace.
And I think that's what it is, because I'm coming to a stage where I'm very self-assured who I am in Christ. Right? So for
Pastor.
me,
Pastor Shaku.
this guy's a waste man.
Pastor Jaguar Shaku.
No, I'm not. Has nothing to do with that.
Anyway,
right?
guys, please let us know what's the worst thing anyone could do to you that would make you find it so hard to forgive them. And let us know what you think about this episode of us saying, you know what, time heals things. You know, there's a skill and a grace to everything. Has family ever hurt you? Has friend ever hurt you? Has a girlfriend ever hurt you? Has the wife ever hurt you? Please call the line number below.
But leave a comment, guys. We would like to know. Do you know what? That's one thing we like. We like to hear people's stories.
Yes,
yeah, man.
yes.
Let us
Message
know your
us
stories.
privately on WhatsApp.
Don't message me up, bro.
Or
WhatsApp,
DM us. You can DM me too, but
don't DM
let's
me,
keep
oh.
it straight. We don't want to enter Wala that they can't forgive us for.
Apparently, man's thirsty in the streets.
You know,
so
the
don't
streets
be
hard.
me, bro.
You know, we don't want Wahala that they cannot forgive us for. Again, we're happy to be back. It's been a long sabbatical. I'm Tola.
I'm Oz.
And this is Big Loud Mouth.
Love you.
Peace. Hello, we are back again. This is Big Loud Mouth.
Oh, yeah, go.
Voila. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening. Hey.
I'm Tola.
I'm Oz.
And this is the team Big Loud Mouth. Thank you for your time, for listening to our show. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, we do. Thank you very much for listening. Guys, we're just hoping and not hoping, we would like you guys to share, subscribe, like the video, leave us some comments. We'd love to have a great discussion with you guys.
Share with your boyfriend.
No, don't finish.